Welcome to Kids A-Cookin', where kids come first and cooking is fun. I'm Karen, and today I have Sarah helping me in the kitchen again, and we are happy to have you here. Sarah is 10 years old. We got our pots going, we got everything ready to go, but first we want to know a little bit about you. You're involved in a lot of sports throughout the year. What are some activities you like to be involved in?
Dancing, basketball, soccer, and lots more.
You said you like to water ski and snow ski both?
Yeah.
So you like to play basketball? Did you mention that one?
Uh-huh.
You play basketball during the school year and softball in the summer?
Yeah.
You are a busy girl, aren't you?
Yes.
Are you just worn out all the time?
No.
Do you have time to get your homework done?
Mm-hmm.
That comes first, right?
Yeah.
Good job. Well, today we are making lasagna roll-ups, and this dish is a bit messy, but it's marvelous. Do you like lasagna?
I love it.
Good. We've already washed our hands. Be sure you wash your hands before you get started on this recipe. Then to begin this recipe, you need a large pot of boiling water, and we already have ours going, and you're going to add your lasagna noodles to this. We need to add 12 lasagna noodles for this recipe, and we're going to show you how you put these in. Have you ever cooked lasagna?
A little.
You have? Because it's a little tricky, because when you first put it in the pot, it doesn't always fit, does it?
No.
Now this part is part of the recipe that you'll probably want to help with, because this boiling water is really, really hot. We don't want any children to get burned, so as you're adding the pasta, you need to be sure you supervise young children on this area. But you can go ahead and just slide it in, and then as the pasta softens, it will go right down in the water.
Okay.
And it doesn't look like maybe it'll all fit, but it will. Just got to slowly add them. We're going to let this go ahead and cook. Oh, that one went down in there. Want to add a couple more?
Sure.
Okay. We aren't getting all 12 in right now, but we're going to show them just how to do it, okay?
Okay.
And then we need to stir this from time to time. It's cooked and uncovered in a large amount of boiling water, and the boiling water helps circulate the pasta so it cooks evenly. You'll want to take a large spoon and make sure that you get the pasta stirred around in here. After the pasta returns to a boil, after you add the pasta, you want to cook an additional 10 minutes. Pasta sometimes tends to stick together during or after cooking, so it helps if you use plenty of water and stir the pasta occasionally during cooking to keep that from happening. Pasta is best cooked al dente, which means it's firm to the bite, and cooking time varies depending on the thickness of the pasta. Since the pasta in this dish will be baked, it can be cooked for a shorter time. Have a colander ready in the sink to drain the pasta so you can hold the pasta pot with 2 hands for safety. Be sure you drain your pasta well and then let the noodles cool in a single layer on foil to keep them from sticking together. When you drain the pasta, be sure you're careful of the steam rising, because as you drain that steam can burn you too. Has that ever happened to you?
Yes.
Sometimes it comes up really in a rush, doesn't it? You have to be real careful of that. So be very careful when you're dealing with this boiling water. You can also lift the pasta out with a fork or tongs, however is easiest for you, but sometimes you'll rip your pasta noodles doing that. We don't want them to look pretty for this recipe, because you're going to see them. For the sauce, you want to brown 1 pound of ground beef, lean ground beef in a skillet, and drain it well, and then add a 26-ounce jar of spaghetti sauce. Just stir that together and let it heat on the stovetop while you're making the filling. You ready to help me, Sarah, with the filling?
Yes.
For the filling, you need a 24-ounce carton of low-fat cottage cheese. We're going to open that and add it to our mixing bowl. There's a lot of steps to this recipe, aren't there?
Yeah.
You can use the rubber spatula if you want, if you need it. That looks like it might just pour right out. Did we get most of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you want to add an 8-ounce package of shredded mozzarella cheese, which is about 2 cups. Is that already opened? Let's get it pulled apart there. And you can just add that to the cottage cheese. Lots of cheese in here. Cottage cheese, mozzarella. And then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese, which is right there in our dish already measured. To this, we are going to add 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Can you do that for me?
Yeah.
You can just dip in, make it pretty level on the top. You want to powder it just a little bit more so it's to the top. I'm picky, aren't I? Garlic's good, though.
Yeah,
That's good. That's a good measure. Sprinkle it around. And then we're just going to stir all that together. You can use that rubber spatula, the rubber scraper, and you just mix it all together. You want to scrape the sides and get it all mixed in there, especially that garlic powder. You don't want all that in one lump. You want to be sure that's mixed in well. It would be easier to use a spoon. You can use a spoon if you want. Would that be easier?
Yeah.
Whatever works for you, whatever tool works easiest, that's what you should use. I'll give our pasta here a stir so that it doesn't get stuck together while it's boiling. You want to be sure you separate those noodles as they're cooking, or they'll cook right together in a lump. Ready?
Yep.
We're going to assemble our lasagna roll-ups. Come on over here. To assemble, you just want to spoon a portion of the cheese mixture over each noodle and then follow it by some sauce. And you just kind of estimate how much we're going to put on there. You want it to come out even. We're going to do 12 roll-ups.
Okay.
So we're not going to measure this out, but you can kind of estimate and see how much you have left. So we're going to spoon some of this out. We're just going to put it right down the middle of our noodle. And you don't want to fill it too full because then it will just all fall out the sides. But these are going to fall out anyway a little bit, so that's okay. I like a recipe that says right off the bat it's going to be messy because then you don't have to feel bad about it. So we're just layer it like that. We'll use one of these spoons to get some of our meat mixture. That looks pretty yummy already, doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
And just layer it right down the middle. You ready to try one?
Yeah.
Okay. You can use this second noodle. Can you reach it okay?
Yeah.
Right down the center. You don't have to be neat, remember?
Yeah.
I love lasagna. And this is nice because it makes individual portions, so you can just divide it out pretty easy when you're serving. And then put that right down the middle. So do you have a dance recital every year?
Yeah.
And buy nice costumes? And yeah, that's the fun part, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Let's each do one more, shall we? We'll do this whole tray here.
Okay.
There, I got messy. I got some over on yours. I helped you out. There you go. You can finish the last one, then we'll roll them up.
Okay.
I bet this is one you could do at home for your weekly meal that you have to make. You could do this one.
Yeah.
And I bet even your brother would eat this one.
Oh, yeah.
Layer some meat sauce on there. And then we have to get really messy. Does that bother you?
Oh, no.
Okay. You want to have a 9x13 dish coated with cooking spray ready. Then this is the part that gets messy, but you just start at one end and roll up the noodle. You'll see some of it kind of squish out on the side, but that's okay. And then you just want to place it seam side down in your dish. Well, that was pretty neat. I'm impressed with myself. What do you think?
Yeah.
Think you can do it like that?
Uh-huh.
Okay, give it a try. Start at one end. You can go either direction and roll it up. You just don't want to push down too hard as you're doing it because then it will all squish out. You just lightly roll it. You're doing a great job. And scoop it up. You can use a spatula too if it's easier, but as long as our hands are in there, why not just use our hands? Roll one more, and I'll let you do the last one.
Okay.
That one's stuffed pretty full. I put a lot of stuff in that one. It might get messy. Yeah, you're doing a good job. When you have all of your lasagnas filled up with their filling, you just want to cover this dish with foil and bake about 30 to 40 minutes until it's hot. We're going to finish these up and put it in the oven to bake, but we have another one that's ready to eat, so let's go. Okay?
Okay.
At the grocery store, choose ground beef packages that feel cold and that are not torn. This should be one of the last items picked up before checkout. Go directly home from the store and place the ground beef in the refrigerator to use within 1 to 2 days. For longer storage, wrap in heavy-duty plastic wrap, aluminum foil, or freezer bags and freeze at 0 degrees. The best way to safely thaw ground beef is in the refrigerator. Keeping meat cold while it is defrosting is important to prevent bacteria growth. You can defrost ground beef in the microwave, but then you must complete cooking immediately. Cook ground beef until a food thermometer shows it has reached 160 degrees. Do not rely on the color of ground beef to indicate doneness. Undercooked ground beef can contain harmful bacteria. Place the thermometer in the thickest area of ground meat dishes, such as the center of the meatloaf. For hamburger patties, insert the thermometer sideways into the patty. After browning ground beef and adding it to a casserole, make sure the endpoint temperature is at least 160 degrees. Leftovers should be refrigerated and cooled quickly. Never leave ground beef or any perishable food at room temperature more than 2 hours. Well, what do you think, Sarah? Were these fun to make?
Yes.
Do you like this better than regular lasagna, just layering it in there?
Yeah,
Rolling it up individually?
I like this better.
This might be a fun thing to have when your friends come over too, huh?
Yeah.
You could make this. Practice on your family and then do it with your friends. They could all roll up their own. That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and try it, see if they taste as good as they look. They look delicious, don't they?
Uh-huh.
We got a bit messy while we were making these, but the results are worthwhile. These are really delicious. Let's take a bite and see how they are. You like it?
It's good.
For more information about this recipe and helpful hints to make cooking easier, visit our website. See you next time on Kids A Cookin'.